What you're about to witness might be the most disrespectful moment in WWE history. And I'm not talking about a slap, a promo, or even a chair shot. I'm talking about a man who wasn't even supposed to be there, walking into someone else's show and absolutely dismantling two of the most dangerous superstars on the roster like they were nobody. The rulebook, the NXT champion, the absolute unit known as Oba Femi, just invaded Smackdown. Not for a match, not for a promo, not even announced. He showed up backstage, found Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, and turned that hallway into his personal war zone. And here's what's got me absolutely furious right now. WWE is trying to sweep this under the rug. They cut the cameras, they didn't show it on live TV, they're protecting their Smackdown stars from the embarrassment of getting manhandled by an NXT guy. But the footage leaked, and trust me, what you're about to hear is going to make you demand that Triple H explain himself. Because if Oba Femi can do this on enemy territory, what's stopping him from walking into WrestleMania and taking everything? Stay with me till the end because the implications of this are massive, and I've got receipts that prove WWE has been planning something insane behind the scenes. So let me paint you the picture of what went down backstage at Smackdown this past Friday. According to multiple sources and corroborated by talent who were present, Oba Femi showed up at the arena hours before Smackdown went live. Not in his ring gear, not announced, just rolled up like he owned the place. Now, you have to understand the audacity of this move. NXT champions don't just show up on Smackdown without permission. This isn't the Wild West. There's a protocol, there's a hierarchy. You get cleared by creative, you get your segment approved, you coordinate with the other brand's champions. Oba Femi, he said forget all of that. Multiple wrestlers backstage reported seeing the rulebook walking through the corridors with a purpose. Not looking for catering, not there to watch the show, he was hunting. And what he was hunting was respect, or rather disrespect from two men who've been running their mouths about NXT lately. Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker, two absolute monsters in their own right. These guys have been dominant on SmackDown, running through the roster, and apparently they've been talking reckless in interviews about how NXT doesn't have anyone on their level anymore, how they've graduated from developmental and they're the real deal now. Well, Oba Femi heard them, and he took it personally. Eyewitnesses say Oba found Reed and Breaker in one of the equipment corridors. They were talking strategy for an upcoming segment, completely unaware that 270 pounds of pure violence was walking up behind them. What happened next was carnage. Oba didn't say a word. No excuse me, no warning. He grabbed Bronson Reed by the shoulder, spun him around, and launched him into a stack of equipment cases. The crash was so loud it echoed through the entire backstage area. Production staff came running, wrestlers poked their heads out of locker rooms. Everyone thought a lighting rig had collapsed. But it wasn't equipment failing. It was Bronson Reed's body making impact. Braun Breaker, to his credit, immediately got into fight mode. This is the son of Rick Steiner, the nephew of Scott Steiner. Fighting is in his blood. He charged at Oba Femi with everything he had. And Oba caught him, mid-spear. Caught him like he was catching a football, pivoted and powerbombed him through a catering table that wasn't even supposed to be there. The sound of wood splintering, food exploding everywhere. Braun Breaker laid out in a pile of chicken wings and broken dreams. Here's where it gets interesting and honestly suspicious. Within seconds, security rushed in, not to break it up, but to clear the area. Producers were screaming at camera operators to stop filming. One camera guy who kept rolling, they confiscated his footage on the spot. WWE went into full damage control mode. They cleared the hallway, got medical to check on Reed and Breaker, who were both moving but clearly hurting, and escorted Oba Femi to a private office. Not out of the building, not to the parking lot, to an office. That tells me everything I need to know. If this was an unauthorized incident, if Oba had really gone rogue and attacked two SmackDown superstars without permission, he would have been removed from the building immediately, possibly suspended, possibly arrested for assault. But instead, he went to an office, which means someone in power knew this was going to happen. Someone approved this, and now they're trying to control the narrative because it didn't go down how they planned. Now, despite WWE's best efforts, footage did leak. It's grainy, shot on someone's phone from a distance, but you can see the confrontation. You can hear the impact. And let me tell you, it's more brutal than anything they would have shown on TV anyway. The video shows Oba standing over both men, chest heaving, looking down at them with this cold expression. No celebration, no trash talk, just a statement made. Then he straightens his shirt and walks away like he just finished his morning workout. The reactions from other superstars in the video are what really sells this moment. You can see people's jaws dropped. You can hear someone say, "Oh my God," in the background. LA Knight is visible in one shot just shaking his head with this little smirk, like he knew this was coming. Let's talk about the implications here because this is huge.
We've seen brand invasions before. We've seen champions from one show challenge champions from another, but we've never seen an NXT champion just show up unannounced and physically dominate two main roster stars like this. This sends a message. NXT is not developmental anymore. It hasn't been for a while, but WWE keeps treating it like the minor makes. Oba Femi just declared that the rulebook runs all the yards, Raw, Smackdown, and NXT. And here's what has me really thinking there's something bigger going on. The timing. Royal Rumble is coming up. WrestleMania season is approaching. WWE always does something crazy during this period to generate buzz. What if Oba Femi's Rampage is the start of an NXT invasion angle? What if Triple H, who built NXT into what it is today, is finally giving his brand the respect it deserves by having NXT superstars crash the main roster shows and prove they belong at the top? Let's not forget about the victims here. Bronson Reed is a legitimate monster. This man has been destroying people on SmackDown for months. He's a former NXT North American champion himself, so he knows what Oba Femi is capable of, or at least he thought he did. Getting thrown around like a ragdoll by Oba has to be eating at him. Reed's entire persona is built on being an unstoppable force. Being stopped and dominated by someone from the brand he supposedly graduated from, that's a hit to his ego he won't forget. In Braun Breaker, this might be even worse for him. Braun's been positioned as the next big thing, the future of WWE, a potential world champion. Getting caught mid-spear and powerbombed through furniture doesn't exactly scream future face of the company. Both of these guys are going to want revenge, which sets up some incredible potential matches. Imagine Oba Femi defending his NXT championship against Bronson Reed at Stand and Deliver. Imagine a collision course with Braun Breaker at a major PLE. The money is there. Can we just take a moment to appreciate how special Oba Femi is? This man is only 26 years old. He's 6'4", 270 pounds of pure athletic ability. He can move like a cruiserweight and hit like a super heavyweight. Since winning the NXT championship, he hasn't just defended it, he's dominated with it. Every defense feels like a statement. Every match feels like he's proving he's on another level. But what makes Oba truly special is his presence. When he walks into a room, everyone notices. When he speaks, people listen. He has that it factor that you can't teach, that natural charisma mixed with legitimate intimidation. The rulebook nickname isn't just clever branding, it's the truth. Oba Femi is the standard in NXT, and apparently he's decided that standard applies to all of WWE. So where does WWE go from here? They can't ignore this. The footage is out there. Fans are talking about it on social media. Wrestlers are being asked about it in interviews. I think we're going to see one of two things happen. Option 1, WWE acknowledges it and builds a storyline around it. Maybe Nick Aldis, the Smackdown GM, demands an apology. Maybe Adam Pearce gets involved representing Raw's interests. This could escalate into a 3-brand warfare situation leading into Survivor Series or even WrestleMania. Option 2, WWE tries to keep it underground, letting it simmer as a word-of-mouth storyline that builds organically, the most dangerous kind of heat, the real heat, where fans feel like they're discovering something WWE doesn't want them to know about. Honestly, I think option 2 creates more intrigue. There's something about forbidden knowledge, about footage that leaked rather than being broadcast, that makes fans more invested. Either way, Oba Femi just changed the game. He made NXT feel dangerous again. He made main roster stars look vulnerable, and he did it all without saying a single word on camera. Look, I've been covering wrestling for years, and moments like this are why I fell in love with this business. Not the scripted promos, not the predictable outcomes, but the chaos, the unexpected, the feeling that anything can happen. Oba Femi invading SmackDown and destroying Bronson Reed and Braun Breaker is exactly the kind of moment that creates legends. This is the kind of story people will reference years from now when talking about Oba's rise to superstardom. Because make no mistake, Oba Femi is the future of WWE. The question isn't if he'll be a world champion on the main roster, it's when. And based on this display of dominance, that when might be sooner than anyone expected. WWE tried to hide this from you. They cut the cameras, they confiscated footage. They wanted to control the narrative, but the truth got out anyway. And the truth is simple. The rulebook has been written, and everyone in WWE is going to have to follow it. So here's what I need from you. If you think Oba Femi should be on the main roster right now competing for world titles, smash that like button. If you want to see Oba Femi at the Royal Rumble causing absolute mayhem, drop a comment below telling me which main roster superstar you want to see him face first. And if you want to stay updated on all the backstage wrestling news that WWE doesn't want you to know about, hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications, because WrestleScope is your source for the real stories behind the curtain. The invasion has begun, the rulebook has arrived, and WWE will never be the same. I'll see you in the next video. Stay scoped in.